The auction the year was 2891. Across the galaxy, humans were no longer weak. They were strong. They had ships, weapons, and colonies on hundreds of planets. But not all humans were good. Some became pirates, smugglers, and buyers of slaves. Captain Joran Kane was one of them. A war veteran. A man with a dark past. Now, he worked alone, flying his ship from one star system to another, selling weapons, parts, and sometimes people. That day, he landed on Verelianine, a dirty, lawless planet, filled with black markets and danger. He wasn't looking for trouble. He just wanted to buy supplies and leave. But as he walked through the dark metal hallways of the market, he heard loud voices, lights flashing, and people shouting numbers. It was a slave auction. He didn't plan to stop, but he did. There, in a glass cage, under red lights, stood a girl. She looked different. Not like the others. She had silver skin with a soft glow, long white hair, and glowing blue eyes. She wore a simple dress, torn at the edges. Chains were around her wrists and ankles. But she did not cry. She did not beg. She just stared. Calm, silent, almost royal. Next item, shouted the alien auctioneer. He had 4 arms and a long tail. Modeled Zeta 7. Fully trained pleasure slave. Very rare. She obeys. She is quiet. She has no memory. The crowd laughed. Some shouted bids. Joran frowned. What species is she? He asked. Unknown. The seller replied. Found on a ruined moon. No family. No name. Just beauty. Perfect for pleasure. Joran looked at her again. She did not blink. Her eyes were cold but deep, like she was hiding something. He didn't know why he raised his hand. 10,000 credits, he said. The crowd went quiet. That was too much for a simple slave. The seller smiled with sharp teeth. Sold. To the human captain. Joran brought her to his ship, the Reaper's Edge. It was old but strong, with hidden weapons and fast engines. As they took off from Verelianine, she sat quietly in the corner of the small cabin. He gave her food. She didn't eat. He asked her name. She didn't answer. He thought maybe the seller was right, maybe her mind was gone. Hours passed. The stars outside the window moved slowly. Then, finally, she spoke. Softly. I was a princess once. Joran turned fast. What? She looked at him, her voice calm but filled with something ancient. I was not born to serve. I was born to rule. They burned my world. They took everything. My family, my crown, my name. But I remember. Joran stared at her. This was not normal slave talk. She wasn't broken. She wasn't lying still, like the others. She was remembering. And remembering was dangerous. Where are you from? He asked. She shook her head slowly. If I tell you, they will come. They are always watching. Always listening. Who? He asked. She stood up. Her chains clinked softly as she moved. You don't understand, she said. You bought a slave. But I am not yours. And now, you are part of it too. Suddenly, the ship's warning alarm beeped. Incoming signal. Unknown source. Joran looked at the screen. A strange code was flashing, one he hadn't seen since the war. What the hell? The girl stepped closer. Her voice was low. They found me. Joran pulled out his blaster. Not at her, but at the door. You brought them here. She didn't move. They were always near. They think I am weak now. But I remember things they forgot. I know secrets. Hidden things. And if I die, those secrets die too. Joran's mind raced. This was not what he signed up for. He wanted a quiet trip. Maybe sell some goods. Maybe drink something strong on a space bar. Not this. Not war. Not royalty. Not secrets. But it was too late. The stars outside shifted. A black ship appeared in the distance. No lights. No sound. Just death. She looked at it. No fear in her eyes. My name is Erin, she said. And I will not be a slave again. Captain Joran Kane sat in the cockpit of the Reaper's Edge, staring at the dark screen. Behind him, the girl the so-called princess, stood silently, watching stars move past the window. Her name was Erin. That's what she said. But, was it the truth? She looked calm. Too calm for someone who had just claimed to be royalty. And who had also claimed someone was hunting her. Joran didn't trust easy. Not after the war. Not after losing half his crew to lies and traps. And now, this girl appeared, saying things that could get them both killed. He finally turned to face her. You said you were a princess, he said. From where? Erin sat down slowly. Her chains still clinked, though she barely seemed to feel them. I told you already, she said softly. If I name the planet, it alerts them. Words are tracked. History is erased. And I am the last of it. You expect me to believe that? Joran asked, raising an eyebrow. You were sold in a cage. Looked like a pleasure slave. Didn't speak a word until now. She looked up, her blue glow eyes sharp. That was the disguise. The only way to escape. He leaned back, thinking, you said they burned your world. Who are they? She didn't answer right away. Instead, she stood and walked slowly to the ship's console. She moved carefully like someone trained to read a control panel. Don't touch that, Joran said quickly. But it was too late. Her fingers danced over the screen. Symbols appeared, dulled military codes. Forgotten codes. Codes that only a soldier or high command would know. The ship beeped. Secure channel activated. Ghost frequency 7X. Joran stood, shocked. That frequency's been dead for 10 years. Eren looked back at him. Not dead, buried. Suddenly Joran felt the cold grip of fear. He had heard of ghost frequencies. In the war, hidden channels, used only by elite royal forces. The kind that vanished after the fall of the Valtari Empire. Wait, Val single quotes. Tarai, he remembered the name now. A lost empire. Destroyed. Burned out of history. Their princess had vanished. Could she be? No. It wasn't possible, was it? Joran narrowed his eyes. You're not telling me everything. No, she said simply, because you're not ready. Later that night, Joran checked the ship's logs. Something strange had happened during their escape. A small drone had followed them. Silent. Unmarked. It was gone now. But it had scanned the ship. And it had scanned her. He zoomed into the scan image. Her DNA profile wasn't slave. It had markers royal, purebred, modified for mental training. And her nervous system. Not normal. Enhanced memory. He didn't want to admit it. But the evidence was piling up. Still, something didn't sit right. If she was truly a princess, why didn't she escape sooner? Why stay silent? Why let herself be sold? He returned to the main deck, where Eren sat cross-legged. Her eyes closed. You planned this, he said. She opened her eyes. You let them sell you. You let someone buy you. Why? Eren looked at him for a long time, then said one word. Joran felt his heart stop. What? I needed someone who could move between systems. Someone forgotten. Someone like you. You bought me. So now they'll track you. Not me. You used me, he said. No, she said, standing. I chose you. That's different. Just then, the ship shook. Impact alert. Joran ran to the controls. We're being pulled out of warp. Something's locking onto us outside. Space twisted. A small ship appeared. Silent, smooth, black. No lights. Then. A voice crackled through the radio. Cold, robotic. Surrender the girl, or be erased. Eren walked forward. Calm. That voice, Joran said. Who is it? She looked at him. The one who destroyed my world. Alarms screamed across the Reaper's edge. Red lights flashed. The stars outside spun wildly. Captain, Joran Kane grabbed the controls, trying to steady the ship. Hold on, he shouted. Behind him. Eren stood without fear. The black ship that had found them was still there, floating in silence, like a shadow that didn't belong in this galaxy. Surrender the girl, the enemy voice repeated. Final warning. Who the hell are they? Joran shouted. Don't have a name anymore, Eren replied. They erased it, like they erased everything. The enemy ship fired a blast. The Reaper's edge shook, shields barely holding. I can't fight them, Joran growled. We're outgunned. Then, don't fight, she said. Run. Joran pulled the emergency lever. The ship dropped into blind space, a hyperspace tunnel with no map, no guide. Only desperate captains ever used it. Inside, everything felt wrong. Like time was folding. Like stars had eyes. Where the hell did we go? Joran asked. Eren was calm. Far enough to buy 1 hour. No more. Joran turned to her. Start talking. No more half-truths. She sighed and looked out the window. They are called the Black Echo. Not a government. Not an empire. They are silence made into machines. They took my home, burned it, left no record. Joran's eyes narrowed. Why you? Eren touched her wrist where the chain had been. Because I saw something I wasn't meant to. A secret weapon hidden in royal hands. I refused to use it. So they destroyed us. And now they want you, because I still remember how to activate it. Joran stared at her. So this is more than just royalty. You're carrying something dangerous. Yes, she said. But not a weapon like you think. Suddenly, the ship jolted again. Systems dimmed. Lights flickered. No, Joran said, checking the screen. This isn't possible. They followed us into blind space. Erin's face changed. Fear, real fear, appeared for the first time. They can track memory, she whispered, not signals. They followed what I remember. Joran grabbed his blaster. We can't stay here. He pushed the ship out of blind space early, and they crashed into a small asteroid field. Metal screamed. Systems sparked. The ship drifted barely alive. Outside. The black ship appeared again. They don't want me captured, Erin said softly. They want me erased. Joran turned to her. Why not just erase your mind back then? Why now? She didn't answer. She stepped forward, opened a small hatch behind the main console and pulled out something that didn't belong on Joran's ship. A metal cube, humming with low energy. What the hell is that? He asked. The last piece of the crown drive, she said. An ancient key. My father hid it before he died. It stores the map to the Forbidden Ark. Joran stepped back. You planted that here. I had no ship. I had no allies. I used what I could, including your forgotten cargo hold. Suddenly, a message appeared on the ship's screen. A face cold, pale, almost human looked at them. Captain Joran Kane, you are carrying stolen royal memory. This is your last chance. Drop the girl and leave. Joran walked toward the speaker. No deal. He cut the transmission. He looked back at Erin. Why do I believe you now? He asked. She smiled, the first time in the entire journey. Because now, you've seen it. The truth. Joran powered up the engines again. We're not running anymore. I know someone who might. Help who? He gave a small grin. An old friend who owes me a war. Far away, on a forgotten moon. Someone else opened his eyes. A deep voice whispered, she's awake. The last Valtari. And she remembers everything. The ship was quiet, too quiet. After days of running, hiding, and escaping death, Captain Joran Kane had finally landed on a forgotten planet. Kirel-4, a cold blue rock with no cities, no signals, and no population. Only dust, and the ruins of something old. Erin stepped onto the planet's surface first. She walked slowly, as if she had been there before. Maybe she had. Joran followed, blaster in hand. Is this it? He asked. The place your father hid the truth. Erin didn't answer. Her eyes scanned the ruins. Tall stone spires, broken walls, strange glowing symbols etched in the rock. It's not just memory stored here, she said softly. It's me, a version of me. They reached a round metal door, half buried in the ground. No handle, no control panel. Erin placed her palm on it. Nothing. She closed her eyes and whispered words in a language Joran didn't understand. Suddenly, the door pulsed with light and opened with a heavy sound. Joran looked around nervously. That language was that from your empire. No, she said. Older, taught only to royal heirs. They stepped inside. The vault was not big. Just a round chamber with one large glowing crystal in the center. The walls were lined with floating memory shard silver plates that hummed quietly. Joran stepped closer to one. It blinked. A hologram appeared. A younger Erin, maybe 10 years old, laughing in a royal garden. Then the image shifted to fire. Explosions, screaming, ships falling from the sky. The last image showed Erin's mother, holding a broken crown, whispering, trust no one, not even the council. The shard went dark. Joran turned to Erin. That was real. She nodded. My memory was taken. I hid pieces here before they captured me. She walked to the central crystal and placed the cube, the crown drive, into a slot. The room came alive. Hundreds of memory shards began floating, spinning, glowing. A voice filled the vault. Welcome, Erin Valtari. Bloodline confirmed. Activating. Final record. A large image appeared in the Erin's father, King Sirith. His face was tired. His voice was calm. If you are seeing this, daughter, then I have failed. The council betrayed us. The Black Echo was not created. It was invited. Our scientists thought they could control silence. They were wrong. The Forbidden Ark contains the one thing that can end them, or free them. You must choose. But first, you must remember. The vault dimmed. A silence followed. Joran looked at her. What is the Forbidden Ark? Erin shook her head. No one alive has seen it. It's a place. Or maybe a machine. Hidden between stars. My father believed it could reshape galaxies. Joran looked uneasy. This is bigger than I thought. Erin turned to him. It always was. Suddenly, a memory shard flew to the front. It activated on its own. A blurry image appeared. A dark room. A meeting Erin's father. And standing across from him, Commander Vex Malrin. Joran's face went pale. That's my old war captain. The memory played. You said the girl is safe, the king said. She is, Vex replied. But the council won't wait. They want the Ark now. She doesn't know how to use it. Then train her, or she won't live past 16. The shard shut off. Erin's voice was barely a whisper. He was there the night I was taken. Joran stepped back. He's alive. I served under him. I trusted him. Then he'll come for you, Erin said. He always finishes his mission. Outside the vault, something shifted. The wind picked up, and from the sky, a small black probe descended. It hovered near the ruins. It had no markings. A red dot blinked. Joran raised his blaster. We've been followed. The probe scanned the ruins, then exploded in a flash of light. No damage. But the message was clear. They knew. Inside the vault, the central crystal pulsed again. A final message appeared. Coordinates unlocked. The Ark awaits. Joran stared at the numbers on the screen. Those aren't normal coordinates. That's deep space. Off all charts. Erin looked at him. If we go there, we won't come back the same. Joran smirked, shaking his head. I haven't been the same since I met you. Far away, deep inside a warship in orbit. Commander Vex Malrin stood in the dark. He watched the vault feed from the probe. She remembers, he whispered. She unlocked it. Another voice, colder, spoke behind him. Then he raised them both. They didn't speak for hours. After leaving the memory vault, Captain Joran Kane and Erin Valtari flew silently through deep space. The stars outside looked colder now. The ship hummed gently, almost like it was listening. Joran leaned against the wall in the engine room. His mind was spinning. Commander Vex Malrin, his old war captain, his mentor, a man who saved his life in battle more than once. But in Erin's memory, he was the one who handed her over to the ones who destroyed her world. Could it really be true? People change, Erin said behind him, reading his silence. And some were never what they seemed. Joran didn't respond. Later, a soft signal blinked on the ship's console. An old code, a friendly one. This is Oris Vale. I heard you were flying into dangerous space. You still alive, Kane? Joran's face lit up for the first time in days. Oris was a smuggler, part-time pirate, full-time survivor. The kind of man who always had a way out. He opened the channel. Oris, damn, it's good to hear your voice. Oris laughed. I'm at Ravensdrift. You remember the spot? Old trade station, barely floating. I remember. Come in quiet. No lights, no signals. We'll talk face to face, just like old times. Ravensdrift wasn't on any map anymore. A black market station built into the skeleton of an abandoned cruiser. It spun slowly, half its lights dead, like a ghost in space. Joran and Erin docked without a sound. Inside, the corridors were cold and narrow. Steam leaked from cracked vents. Metal groaned beneath their boots. Erin walked close to him, her voice low. This place remembers pain. Joran nodded. So do I. They met Oris in a private chamber lined with sound dampeners. He looked older, worn, but still had that sly smile. Well, damn, Oris said, staring at Erin. So the rumors are true. She's real. You've heard of her? Joran asked. Oh, everyone's heard something. Princess of the Dead Empire. Crown of Secrets. The girl who remembers. Joran frowned. We need help. Safe coordinates. Fuel. Weapons. If you've got them. Oris leaned back. I can help you. Sure, but it's not free. There's a price. Joran narrowed his eyes. What price? Oris smiled wider. Then he turned. Behind him, the door opened. And in walked Commander Vex Malrin. Joran froze. His hand twitched toward his blaster, too slow. Soldiers stepped in behind. Vex, quiet, professional. Guns raised. You didn't have to make it this hard. Joran, Vex said calmly. You were always smarter than this. Joran's voice was low. You lied to me. You lied to all of us. I followed orders. The girl is a weapon. We made peace by hiding her truth. You're about to undo that. She's not a weapon, Joran growled. She remembers the weapon, Vex replied coldly. Same thing. Erin stepped forward, her hands open. Are you going to kill me here, Vex? No, he said. We'll erase you first, like before. Wipe the memories. Turn you back into silence. She smiled, and said something strange. Do you remember the river on Volta 6? Vex blinked. What? She took one slow step back. That wasn't a memory, she said softly. That was a seed. Before anyone could react, the lights in the room turned blue. Every screen in Raven's Drift flashed one symbol, a spiral star. The soldiers shouted. Some clutched their heads. One dropped to his knees. Vex's voice shook. What did you not erase? She whispered, awakened. A hidden program from her mind had infected the station. But it only lasted seconds. A shot fired. Erin gasped and fell. Joran screamed. No. The soldiers dragged her away. Vex gave one final glance. You should have left her in the cage, he said to Joran, and they vanished. Hours passed. Joran sat alone in his ship, fists clenched, heart hollow, no alarms, no fight start, just silence. On the floor near where she fell, he found something small, a tiny silver disc shaped like a teardrop. He plugged it into the console. A recording played. Erin's voice. Quiet. Calm. If you're hearing this, it means they've taken me again. But this time, I left a trail. Not for them. For you. Because I believe in what you are, Joran, not what you were. And if I forget again, remind me who I was. The room was white. No doors, no shadows, no sound. Erin sat in the center of it, arms wrapped around her knees. Her name was Erin Valtari. She repeated it in her mind like a prayer. But the voices were getting louder. Mechanical, cold, calm. Memory layer 3. Dissolving. Emotional identity, fading. Each day a new part of her was taken. She no longer remembered her mother's voice. Soon they would take her name. Then, her purpose. But deep inside her, something fought back, something they couldn't touch. Joran. Outer Rim. Captain Joran Kane stood in a hidden scrapyard on the edge of a burning moon. He wasn't alone. Before him stood 5 figures. Warriors. Pirates. Spies. Enemies. Criminals. Ghosts. Myra Voss, ex-mercenary sniper, hated the Black Echo after they destroyed her crew. Rel, a silent cybernetic monk, once hacked a battleship mid-flight. Dressed twofold, half human, half something else. Unpredictable and lethal. And Xi, a blind pilot, who said he could fly through gravity like it was music. Joran looked at them and said just one sentence. They took a girl who remembers things they want forgotten. I want her back. No one moved. Then Mira smiled. Let's burn them down. Erin Blackside orbital prison. The erasure room changed. It became a garden. Fake trees, fake light, warm wind. And across from her, wearing the face of someone she once trusted, sat Commander Vex. You're not a prisoner, he said. You're a survivor. Let us help you forget the pain. Erin stared at him. You betrayed my father, and me. He smiled. I saved the galaxy from what you carry. Erin blinked. Then whispered. You have no idea what I carry. And her fingers tapped a rhythm on the floor. 3 short taps. Too long, over and over. They thought it was nonsense. But far, far away. Someone was listening. Joran warship, the Iron Circle. The team had stolen a warship from a broken fleet, renamed it the Iron Circle. Now it flew cloaked through asteroid belts, crossing dead zones, powered by stolen fuel and anger. Joran stood at the helm. We're heading to coordinates, buried in her message disk. She's not on any map. Xi laughed softly. Nothing worth finding is. They were close now. Joran could feel it. Erin inside her mind. She dreamed again. Not of her past, but of a river on Volta 6, the one she told Vex about before capture. The river wasn't real. It was code. Memory hidden in memory, a vault, inside herself. Suddenly, her own mind spoke to her. You buried the Ark's location here. If they reach Layer 0, they'll find it before you do. You must wake up. The uprising begins. The Iron Circle arrived in orbit, above a black metal prison station, built in the shadows of a dying star. No windows, no signals, no escape. Rel hacked the power grid. Lights blinked. Dr. ESK slipped inside through the waste shafts. Mira sniped guards in silence. Xi crashed the back gate using gravitational sonar. He marched through the front door with a firebomb in one hand and fury in the other. Reunion moments before he raised. Inside the white room, the system's voice began again. Layer 0 access in 30 seconds. Beginning Arc code extraction. Erin clenched her fists. Her lips bled from biting back screams. Then, a siren. The lights turned red. The walls shook. Explosions above. Outside, voices shouted. Breach in lower levels. Unknown warship in orbit. They found us. The System voice paused, for the first time. It sounded afraid. The door exploded. Smoke filled the room, and through it stepped Duran, bruised, bleeding, breathing hard. He looked at her. She looked at him. He said one word. Remember. And she smiled. In deep space, unknown location A. Ship watched from far away. Inside, a figure in silver robes whispered into the dark. The crown is awake. Another voice, colder and older, replied. Then the Ark must not be found. Aaron Valtari stood at the edge of the command deck. Stars stretched in all directions. Below her, the iron circle hovered beside the burned remains of the enemy prison. She had been a slave, a ghost, a girl without a name. Now she remembered everything. Her father's voice, the hidden code in the river, the forbidden Ark. The moment her empire fell, the face of the traitor who held her hand as he destroyed her world, Vex Malren. Still, she was calm. Joran. Kane leaned against the railing beside her. You don't look like someone who just escaped death, he said. She gave a small smile. That's because I didn't escape. I changed. Joran studied her. There was something different now, the way she stood. The way the lights in the control panels flickered near her, as if listening. You're connected to it, aren't you? He asked. The Ark. Yes, she whispered. And it's listening to flashback the Ark, when Aaron had unlocked the final layer of memory in the black site. She didn't just see the Ark. She felt it. A place built before language, before war. A machine, a temple, a mind, floating in a quiet sector of space no map dared show. The forbidden Ark didn't speak in words. It asked a single question. Do you want to destroy them, or save what's left? Now, as the crew of the Iron Circle prepared to flee the system, a signal appeared. Unmarked, untouchable, a slow pulse in space, matching the rhythm Aaron had tapped on the floor during captivity. Zai, the blind pilot, stepped forward. That's not a message. Joran looked at the screen. Then what is it? Aaron stepped between them. It's an invitation. The last confrontation near the Ark, they followed the signal deep into the black, far from stars, far from laws. And there it was. The forbidden Ark. Not a structure, not a ship, a massive, floating ring of light and shadow, slowly turning through space. Alive. Around it, 3 enemy dreadnoughts waited. At the center, Vex Malren, waiting to finish the story he started. Joran's voice came through. Comes. We can run. You don't have to face him. Aaron's reply was calm. I do. She took the escape pod alone. No weapons. Just memory, inside the Ark. Time felt different. Each step echoed like thunder. Vex stood near the core. You've come back, he said. She nodded. You never expected me to. No, he said. You weren't supposed to survive. The Council feared you. The Black Echo feared you. Even your own father feared you. She paused. I feared myself too. Until now, the choice the Ark opened. It revealed a console, not buttons, but light. Not tech, but thought. It gave her the choice. Erase the old, or awaken what sleeps. Vex stepped forward, desperate. Use it. Wipe them out. Wipe me out. Burn the machines that destroyed your people. She looked at him. Her hand hovered over the light. Joran's voice echoed in her mind. You're not a weapon. You're a survivor. And her father's voice too. You must choose. But remember, revenge is never the crown. She closed her hand, and chose awakening. The Ark pulsed, but nothing exploded. Instead, something deep inside space stirred. Old satellites blinked on across forgotten worlds. Crushed languages, returned to ancient screens. Abandoned cities, lit up memories, across systems. Unlocked. The Ark did not destroy. It remembered, and gave that memory back to the galaxy. Vex fell to his knees. Defeated, not killed, not erased, just forgotten by history. Aaron turned and walked away. Epilogue. Months later, the Iron Circle now flew under a new flag. A broken crown stitched with starlight. Whispers of the Valtari. Princess traveled through space. Some called her a myth. Others, a reborn queen. Too many, she was the memory that could not be erased. Joran stood by her side, not as a soldier, not as a smuggler, but as a witness. Final scene in a quiet room of the ship. Aaron looked out at the stars. Joran stepped in, holding 2 mugs of old earth tea. You know, he said, I thought I bought a slave once. Aaron smiled. And I thought I'd never be free. He handed her the tea. What now? She looked forward, then said the last line of the series. Now, Teach the galaxy how to remember again.